There you go. And now let me see if it's on there.
I have it all ready to go.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go. There you go. It's now. Okay, let's shoot it.
Okay.
We should have put our names on there, Liz and Wulwyn.
Well, you can't edit it now.
It's all right.
Facebook doesn't like edits.
So. Version two will be even better. Good morning. Good morning, Liz. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you doing?
I am excellent.
Happy holidays. You can say that now because it's December. So you can
true. Happy holidays. And how was Thanksgiving?
It was good. It was small and intimate, but we got a big turkey that only lasted a couple days. So I feel like I'm good with turkey for a while now. So
yeah, we had an Egyptian, a friend of a friend, an Egyptian grandmom who did the turkey Egyptian style, so seasonings and all of that. It was juicy. And what I learned was, instead of baking it or roasting it or smoking it on his back, smoke it on the breast, so the juices flow into the breast and makes it even more tender.
Smart.
Like, wow, interesting.
Yes. And I am married to an Italian, Rossilli. So I had to also make Italian. We had manicotti also. So you have to have all the turkey and the fixings, but then you also have to have some sort of stuffed pasta or something too.
Must have been good.
It was, we did not go hungry. And we have to eat it. We have to eat by 1 o'clock so that we can eat again. So why eat like a regular lunch when you could just eat the turkey at lunch and then you can eat the turkey again at dinner?
Smart woman, smart family. Well, great. So what's on your plate? What's been going on in your world the past 2 weeks?
Just it's holiday time. It's been an interesting holiday season for sales. For me, it's this is when I try to remind people in October, like, hey, the holidays are coming. You got to order your gifts for your employees and your customers. Say thank you, and no, they don't. The last week, during Thanksgiving, this week has been just everyone is. I'm getting calls today from people looking for gifts for the holidays for their employees, and with COVID, inventory is all. I had one client and you'll like the story. So I had someone. I'm always saying how I don't think social media. You don't get customers on social media, but there is someone I know from high school who I haven't seen him. We're friends on Facebook. We're on LinkedIn. He reached out to me the beginning of last week and said, hey, I think I need some stuff from my employees, and so he's ordered almost $10,000 worth of products from me in this week alone. I mean, just multiple things. We're doing the fulfillment. And he's been following me on LinkedIn, and just was like, okay, we order it online, but, I want to do something local this year. And so he's in Virginia but yeah, I had an idea. I'm like, you should do a blanket. Like, what a nice gift to show during this season. And you cannot find a blanket in the promotional world at all, like sold out everywhere, no inventory. So things have been, it's been interesting. Like you just like, oh, that's a cool mug. Let's do those. Zero inventory, that.
Wow.
So it's been challenging, but it's, my business, I was worried about this year as far as sales and Granted, it's not the growth I was expecting, but I'm within 5% of where I was last year. So
Look at
I'll
that.
take it. You know, I
Hey,
think it's a good year. Yeah.
wow. So, you know, you always tell the story about what's happening, and I'm looking at it through a couple of different, you know, set of eyes and ears, right? And I'm hearing you go, I kept on engaging social media, kept on engaging, and you you aren't you aren't engaging. Yes, you're a salesperson, but you aren't going with buy, 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 buy. No, it's value, 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 value. Here's the value, here's the value, here's the new thing that's coming. Something's going to click on the listener or the viewer that goes, you know what? I want to do, I want to engage that person. And the key is I have a client and we're working on his business now. And the guy does excellent work. The individual does excellent work. And I'm asking him, do you do this? And he says, oh, sure. You heard all the different things I do. And he starts to show them to me, Liz. And my mouth is getting as big as my head. You know, now that I have a big head, so you know the mouth is getting wide. And I go, but people don't know about this. Why aren't you? Why don't you just say thank you to Liz Rossilli for ordering blah blah blah? Really appreciate your business. Put it on your social media. You're not trying to sell, but you're not telling them buy, 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 but you're saying here are certain things that I have. So as you're selling, as you're doing, you think it's referrals, etc. Yes, that works, but you put out your work so people can know that you're doing what you do.
Right.
And $10,000 later, you are, and that's something that you didn't even budget for per se to say I'm going to go 10,000 is going to come from this place, my return customer, right?
Right. And I think that it's so true because, you know, you don't want to sound salesy on social media, you know, like, and you see people do it all the time and you're like, yeah, I don't, you know, I know what they're doing. I know what they're trying to do, but I think doing it in a way, like I have a client who I did shirts for him. I did shirts and quarter zip Under Armour jackets for him.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God. He ordered 5 shirts and maybe 2 jackets. He was so excited. He had to go and take all these pictures with his shirt on and, you know, and he wrote me up a recommendation right away. And I asked him if he'd send me a blurb. So I'm getting ready to put that on social media, but just, you know, saying, hey, here's something my customer said, you know? So,
Simple.
yeah. Yep.
Simple.
And simple. Yeah. Just saying thank you for trusting me and letting me, you know, take care of you and take care of your brand. So, but I think it's, and it is true too, like sales is a game of patience. You know, you have to, you put something out and you sit there and say, oh, no one liked that post. No one, you know, no one's responding. I sent out this email blast. I didn't get any orders from it. And you just don't know who's watching and who's paying attention. And they might not need something today and they might not need something tomorrow. But when you just want it so that when they do need you, they know, they remember you and they know how to get in touch with you.
Correct. It always starts in a seed form. It's always a seed that grows. You know, the mustard, the mustard seed. See the tree that comes out of that little seed. You said something else, that a game of patience, where you are. It's a long game. So true. It's not anything that grows. I think I've said it here before. Anything that grows fast is a cyst. There's a cyst in it, and when it bursts, it smells, it stinks.
Yeah.
So when we can patiently have a system in place, as you said. Well, when I do calls, I tell my clients to put a blurb out there, and I just, if it's not in in the right crowd, in the right segment, I take it and put it in my segment where people understand what I'm doing. And again, here's the thing that came to me. There are more people watching and not speaking than those who are speaking. You have a low percentage talking. Like we're doing this. I haven't. Do you get feedback from friends about this?
A little bit. People, sometimes someone will say that they saw that it was on there, but
Mm.
I'm not getting people emailing me saying, oh, I did all, I watched.
So here's the thing. We aren't selling this right. So why not let's do this for this selling success. Let's model what we're supposed to do in our businesses with this program.
Okay.
And this week, let's see how we can go from 18 subscribers and up it to 30.
Okay.
Simple. Let's just double it and see how we can go to 30 and get more viewers on this by simply letting people know it exists.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's a good test for us to do. And that would be a model that we can then take and say, we were at 18 for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or a month or so. And here we are. We set our minds to it. Here we are at 30. Wow. Interesting. So someone just put on here, Quintina Stewart, she's a friend of mine. She goes, smoke it on the breast. So she's talking about a turkey. Yeah, smoke it on the breast, Quintina. Wow. So what's on the horizon for 2020? Or you have something else to say? I saw you
No,
go. Okay.
no. My dog is trying to get in from outside, so my
Get the
daughter's
dog.
letting him
Do
in.
you want to get it?
No, my daughter's letting him in. So
Okay.
yeah, my other dog is wandering around the neighborhood somewhere. So I don't know. I just saw him walk by. So
Liz, so
yeah,
Liz is not in the home office today. She is she's at the beach.
yeah. Still at the beach. Yes, it's extremely relaxing and it's wonderful. I mean, it's so serene, and there's no one here, and we haven't left the house, and my daughter and I have not left the house in 3 days,
Yeah.
so we went food shopping, we got everything we needed, and we're just staying. So it's beautiful. So yes, does a lot for your mind and to reset.
Selling success. Okay. We'll continue. I'll even though I know it's cold, but it's sunny here also in Raleigh, Holly Springs areas. But you're at the
Beautiful. Yeah.
beach, you're at the water. Anyway, what's on the horizon, Liz? What's on the horizon for the rest of 2020?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's getting through this holiday season, and it's working backwards. That everyone wants product delivered by Christmas,
Mm,
and it's pretty much now or it's not going to be there by Christmas. So it's a little stressful, but once I get through this week, then it's. I also believe that it's important to be honest with your customers, and I feel like COVID gives them the chance to do that and to say, it's to be honest with them and just say, okay, I'm going to do my best, but just so you know, there's a chance that we're going to have to deliver it for New Year's. And just I think keeping them in the loop, and even having bad news or not great news. We talked before about having a plan B. So
yes.
now I do a second proposal and I call it plan B, and I just okay, if we can't get these products, here's our second choices. So
Excellent. So you're preempting the anxiety with the client because you know that there may be shortage on product A or the set
right,
of products for A, and you're
right,
given an option at the initial meeting for A and B with a
right,
B. Wow,
right, right.
that's
I mean, it's
excellent.
just, like I had someone today who called me asking for bins of popcorn for their employees, the big tins you get.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to make some calls and I'm going to look through some and get you some options, but I'm just letting you know you want these all to be delivered with a personal note by Christmas. we might have to do it for New Year's. Is that okay? And just letting them know. So I feel like everyone's, you do the best you can, and what are they going to say? No, like you have to make this happen. I mean, but I just think, you have to be able to give them good news and bad news when it comes in. So
There's something in there. The two things. Would you say that soft skills, you said honesty, being a woman of your word, being a person of your word, a bunch of those things, soft skills versus maybe I'll put three options in here: soft skills versus a good product versus the ability to have systems and processes in place. Which one of those three would be your first advice to clients or to people who are watching?
I mean, I think you have to, I think always being honest and always being true to yourself should be whatever you do. It shouldn't just be in sales. That's who you should be. But I think you have to have a good product before you do anything else. Because even if you take all the time and you get all your systems and processes and everything in line, and you're like, have the best CRM and this amazing website, if your product isn't good, like, what's the point, right? So I think you have to have a good product, and we've talked before about believing in your product. You have to believe in your product to make it be successful.
Correct. So it's a soft skills, good product, systems. You're saying soft skills and good product pretty much on the same, because you can have all the soft skills in the world, but this is a good argument though. Remember the pet rock?
Mm-hmm.
That product was just the marketing around it was excellent, right? For people to get a pet rock. But what my argument would be is you can have soft skills with a bad product and you could sell it.
Right. But I think that, we talked about the lasting sales, right? I mean, maybe the pet rock isn't a bad product because it's still, now there's paint, everyone paints rocks and puts messages on there. That's kind of the cousin of the pet rock. But,
correct.
But I think that, you can come out, if you have great soft skills and great marketing and your product isn't great, you might have that spike, right? Where it's like the snake oil salesman. Is that, where you get all those sales, they come in and they put, when I was out selling, cold calling, people used to compare it and they would say, is this like the guy who came in with the spot remover and he'd put a spot on his tie and then he'd use this magic product and remove, and he would get the stain out of his tie, but it was fake. It wasn't real. So he'd make those initial sales and they call it the snake oil salesman. But then he's not going to get any reorders because everyone knew it was figured out eventually it was a scam. But it was about, we used to do, when I went in with a polish, if they didn't want to buy right away, we would say, okay, let's do a trial. Like, put this box of these packets on your counter. And if in 30 days it doesn't sell, you just pay me for what you sold and we'll take it back. So there was no risk to them. They didn't have to pay right away.
Wow.
And, I would say 9 times out of 10, they would be reordering within 2 weeks, because the minute they started seeing that their customers liked it and that it was building, traffic and people were excited about it, they started getting excited about it. They started talking about it more. They started pushing it. Once they knew that, they don't want to push something that they don't know what the reaction's going to be.
Correct.
But when people started coming back in and telling their friends about it, then then their sales started really increasing. But you have to sometimes just say, just try it. Like, let me just, no obligation, just try it. And if it doesn't work, I believe in my product, I'll take it back.
So that's so the snake oil is not sustainable, right? The good, the good, the good excellent soft skills, bad product, good marketing, it's not sustainable. Soft skill, good product, good marketing. In fact, questionable marketing, it's kind of sustainable, can grow because you can change and morph into having it add some good marketing to it. I know a story about a group, two people doing an engagement. It's something like a video pod, right? Mm-hmm. Video podcast. They started it and they did not have any. They just started impromptu, right? Just started it. As they, no plan. The plan was, one day we will take this on the road. But let's just start it. They started it. Before you know it, you had people listening, and then it was, oh, let's create a logo. All right, they created a logo. We created a logo. Da 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 da. They were doing it from individual pages. Mm-hmm. The issue came up with, oh my goodness, my friends cannot comment on your page, or my friends can comment on yours. Solution, let's create a Facebook page. Boom, the Facebook page created. Now both friends, both segments can comment on. They're building a product that they don't even know they're building. In less than, I saw their numbers, in less than 24 hours, they got about 200 likes on their page. This is having they tested it before even investing money in it. No risk. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's start this talk. Started the talk. People listening, right? Okay, let's create the logo. Oh, let's create the Facebook. Next thing would be, let's create products, right? And it's, oh, Liz, can we come and get some products from you? So it's, don't be, selling success is, don't be stuck in what other people are doing, what their plan is. As you said, no risk. If you trust your product, your product is valuable, no risk. We listen to what you told them. You only pay for what you got, and we'll take the rest. Now, who wouldn't want that? 100% guarantee that I'm not going to be stuck with inventory that doesn't sell. And how can we take that thought process, that model, and model it in our various businesses? The only thing, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, well, I think one thing is, you talked about the instant sale, like the sale you're going to get right now. Mm-hmm. And knowing if that is the right sale compared to building the relationship, right? So I would rather lose this little sale now and give good advice and say, no, I can't help you right now, but here's what I recommend, or I'll send you to, you recommended someone to me, and I knew that I couldn't supply her the best product for what she needed. And so I said, here's a great website. The quality is excellent. Here's what you need. I would use them. And I even gave her, like, this is the t-shirt I would recommend. This is exactly what you need. Here, this, and then she knows she can trust me now. Like, I'm not going to just sell her something she doesn't need. And then hopefully that's going to build a relationship. So when she needs something bigger, something that I can help her with, or someone else does, she'll know to recommend me. So it's building that relationship and not just saying, I need to get this instant sale right now.
Another nugget, it's the soft skills, and is your ability to not be anxious in it, and building relationships. And I think bottom line of sales is just building relationships, creating honest relationships, as what people said in the end, the gentleman's handshake, right? A handshake that sealed the deal rather than a contract. I know the world is full of good and cuckoo crazy people. I I love handshakes. And I take the risk sometimes with handshakes because even just to find out the quality of the person. And when I find out the quality, most times it's great. The times where it's bad, I go, chug it. I remember you. I know I'm not going to engage with you moving forward until you change. And I don't know when you'll change, but I'm not playing around with you. Um, so 2020, we have roughly 28 more days or so. I want to encourage people, encourage you and myself that we should not we should not give up on 2020, right? We should not give up on 2020. And something just clicked to me just now. Do people purchase Valentine's gifts from you?
No, but well, in a not in a non-COVID year, January, February are big months because people are planning for events that are coming up. Trade shows are all big in February, March, April time period. So
Yeah.
this year, once again, will be different because those trade shows are not happening. But yeah, I think that for the rest of this year, like for me, I just looked at my sales and I'm within 5% of my sales from last year. Granted that I had to throw my sales goals for 2020 out the window in March, but I didn't think that I would be this close to where I was last year. So I've saw that and I was like, I just want to beat last year. If I can beat last year by $1, I will be happy. So my goal is to just beat last year by,
Hey,
and that will be to me. I mean, I already look at this year as being a win, but I if I can, I want to try to beat last year.
yeah.
So
Yes. You're talking about that. I looked at my numbers and I have beaten last year um, by whew, by 15, 20%. I have
congratulations.
beaten last year, and it's nothing about yeah, systems and processes are in there, nothing grandiose. It's just word of mouth, quality work, period. Quality work, getting to know you, getting to understand you. It's coming in and saying, how can I add value to you? As we stated earlier, it's never sale. It's value, value, value. And why is this phone alarming? So the dog barked, now my phone. So, and do not disturb is on. But it's just putting those things in the business. And as you said earlier, it's the long game.
Right.
It's never a short game as you're engaging for your business. So
Well,
exciting.
I say too that, anyone who will switch over to me like that, if I just call them and they're going to switch right over and do business with me, they can switch as quickly away from me too.
Woo! And the dog said, "Amen." Years. Oh, you bringing in a beautiful conversation, switching cost. Ah, but years the discussion on switching costs that I want us to go into. If the person's zone of tolerance has been eroded, right? So the zone of tolerance is here, and the person who they've been working with, they've eroded, and so they reach there like, you know what, I'm done with you. The counter to that is I would I would accept that person because I'm coming from another angle. I would accept that person as a someone who will stay because I don't know what Time Warner did to them. I don't know what DirecTV did to them.
Right.
But
Well,
I do.
sometimes it's being in the right place at the right time. They were ready to make the change, and
Correct.
you happen to be there. I don't know how many times I can tell you I've called people and they're like, oh, I just ordered, or I just, and you're like, oh, if I just made this call 2 weeks ago, what would have
Yep.
happened, but that's okay. That's okay. I say, I'm great. I'm happy for you. Please think of me next time. And then that's someone that then I have to build that relationship with,
Mhm.
for the next time. But
Mhm.
sometimes you're just in the right place at the right time, and
Correct.
they're ready to make a change.
Yes, yes. So the flip for us who are providers, service providers, product providers, in order for our switching cost to be high, for the client to look and say, "Oh my goodness, I'm not going to leave Liz, I'm not going to leave Wulwyn," is excellent service. Just excellent service and understanding their processes and preempting their processes. And we talked about it the last time. When you have your CRM that says John always buys in February or March, you preempt John in January and say, John, last year you did XYZ. Are you going to do the identical thing, or there are other options based on, and you can upsell in that process,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you give the original and say, here are other options that are not better, but just here are other options. And John knows, he has the eye for quality and he trusts you. And that's you upselling and creating more income, more cash flow from John.
Yeah.
So
I have a email that came in last night that I want to share with you, that I
go
got
ahead,
from my
go
client.
ahead, go ahead.
It's someone who worked. She worked in for like a big bank or something. She worked for, and I knew she would never be a customer, but she follows me on LinkedIn and always comments, and was just
Mm,
super nice and a cheerleader. And when I'd see her, she would just comment, tell me how much she liked my posts. And well, she switched companies, and she needed some, like, not huge orders, but some small orders. They had some money to spend.
mm-hmm.
And so I did some small orders for her, and she sent me an email yesterday, and she said, I just wanted to say how pleased we are with the products. You did such a great job, such quality. My boss stated we will be using them in the future for sure. Thank you again. Hope you have an awesome Thanksgiving and a wonderful Christmas holiday.
Long game.
So, yeah. So I was like, I'm, that you never know, right, who they are and where they're going. But even these little products orders I did for her, the potential, you don't know what the potential is.
You do.
So give 100% for each customer. And for me, getting that email and just knowing that they're happy with what they got, and that they admire the quality and they recognize it, that made my day yesterday.
Congrats, congrats.
Thank you.
And that's the beauty of excellent customer service. That's the beauty of an excellent product also. Trying to put this in here. Um, what's what's on your mind in closing? What's
I mean, I think, I have a lot to do for the end of the year. I'm trying to get through this next week or so of getting in all my holiday orders, but I really am trying to reflect more on the year, and figure out how do we set goals for 2021 right now. I
mm,
mean, you don't want to set these grand goals that when we don't know how to predict. But I
yes,
think we've learned this year that you set different types of goals. They
correct.
don't have to be a dollar amount or a sales amount or a
Mm,
customer amount.
mm-hmm.
Maybe just how you do your business, and changes you're going to make, or things you're going to do to improve your business as a whole, like you said, systems and processes.
Yeah.
So I think, like, reflecting, and every year I feel like I come to January 1st with a different feeling. Some years I'm like geared up and I just want to get out of the gate and get going, and in other years it's a different feeling. But I haven't quite figured out what the beginning of next year is going to be like. So so I think, I've picked out a couple of books that I want to read. I started getting up this week. I've been getting up at 5:30. and working out first thing. So my next book to read is the Miracle Mornings,
Okay.
Miracle Morning.
Okay.
And it's about the those hours, before everyone else is awake, and how you can be very productive during that time. So that's so setting those goals for yourself, for myself, are important to get out of bed that early. But I think you just have to figure out what goals, I think whatever the goal is, when you achieve that goal or you come close to that target, that gives you confidence, and it sets the tone for your whole day, right? So even though it's hard to get up at 5:30 and I had to do my workout in the dark this morning, like, I feel good all day knowing that I did that.
Achieve that. Yes.
So
yes.
I think setting goals, that they have to be personal to each of us. They can't be what your neighbor's doing.
Your neighbor's doing. And I love, not like your setting goals of it not being only dollar driven, that it's improving the business, making sure that changes that you can make to it. It's not about how many customers you can come in, because I think if you build the better shed, people will come under that shed for comfort, for shade. Personally, 2021 for me would be, I know I need to update the website. It hasn't been updated in 4 years. And I pretty much know now how, you see people's websites and you say, oh, I want that. I want that. And this is to everybody who will watch this, who are watching this. Before you make a change to your business, before you make a change in your business, it's important to understand the inputs and the outputs, right? It's important to look and say, when this input comes, here's how I'm going to process it in my website. Here's how I'm going to process it in my whatever system I have. And these are the outputs I want, rather than jumping and saying, oh, create this website, because I want to create a website that has the ability to do landing pages and put people through a funnel, and then land them into a nice, slide them into a nice what you call it, pool, that they can warm up, and then before they can get out, I get a sale. So I thought those things through. Now it's time to implement them. So when you give yourselves be gracious to yourselves. I know you want to get that system, that thing into, say you have a website or you have this CRM. Know what you're doing manually before you can go and automate it, or even try to do it, put it in a batch process. So that's what I'm doing.
And I think too, along those lines, like, I'm working on this new consulting business, and it's like, it's overwhelming to think about even your logo and then the website and all these things, and they feel so permanent that and I talked to someone, she's like, just start, just do a logo for right now. You can always you can update your logo, you can update your website, but don't spend $5,000 on a website that in a year from now your business is going to look completely different. So just get it up there, and you can make those changes. It doesn't have to, it's okay to have to print new business cards or whatever it is, but it's going to change. So it's okay to make those changes, and you don't have to, while you're working on this website now, you're going to be like, oh, this is how it has to be. And you might find that, people aren't funneling in the way I thought. So we're going to have to tweak it and make changes. And it should always be flowing and should always be changing. I don't think it should be, this is I just paid all this money, so I'm not going to make any changes, right? Like, that's not going to work.
It's so, I think B school call that sunk cost, where you keep putting money into something. You say, I'm going to keep this because I've spent money. Hey, shut it down. Go create a new product, create the new site, create the new cards, create the new logo, create the new you, right? As you are, we have changed in 2020. We found out how gracious we can be, and we found out how pissed off we can be with all that has gone on. We've seen friends who go, you, and then they're like, you know, just you're on that side. Oh, I'm on this side, and all of these different things. But I think the bottom line is we keep our heads up and improve.
Yeah.
Any Billisms? I'm gonna put you on a hot seat right now.
I'm gonna do it instead of a Billism. I'm gonna do a quote from Marilyn Monroe instead.
Go.
That I posted on LinkedIn this last night. But it's I believe that everything happens for a reason. People change so that you can learn to let go. Things go wrong so that you can learn to appreciate them when they're right. And sometimes good things fall apart so better things can fall together.
Mm.
That's 2020 to me right there.
I'm not saying anything after that. I'm going to say thank you, Liz. People, viewers, thanks for watching and have an excellent, excellent day and week. See you next time. Bye-bye.